Wednesday, August 1st, we jumped on a plane Wednesday morning and flew to Dallas and then to Portland.
We took a rental car and drove over to Park Lane Suites.
Thursday morning, we woke up and went over to the Elephant Delicatessen.
We ate breakfast there and we all had one-egg breakfast.
After breakfast, we jumped in the car, went further downtown, and rented bikes to bike around the Willamette River, across the bridges.
The bridge took a crossing. There was a pathway for humans and bikers. The view from the bridge was super cool.
It was perfect weather for biking around the water. After we were done biking, we went to
Some coffee cafe where they only have like coffee. I got hot chocolate.
After we got coffee,
We went to the original Voodoo Donuts and the donuts were crazy huge.
we then jumped on TriMet and took it up to
Pioneer Courthouse Square. My dad has a brick there that has his name on it.
When we were there, I did a bunch of cartwheels.
The kids both enjoyed sitting on top of these big, scary waterfalls. At that point, Alana and I decided we wanted to go climbing. So we went over to the Portland Rock Gym. The climbing walls were really tall, and because they had auto-belay, both Alana and I got to climb. We then drove over to Ichiban Sushi, where we met up with Ryan, Mikey, Tyler, and Jen. After that, we went over to a park.
At that park, it was like a parkour park. We got to jump around and stuff. And then we went to the dog park.
It was great to see Ryan's family there at the park. Afterwards, we went back to the room, woke up Friday, and then we went to the Oregon Zoo, where again we met up with Ryan's family.
On the way, we saw a bunch of animals. Wow! Bears! Wow! Eagles!
No way, bald eagles?
Yeah! Wow! Lunch!
Lunch?
Wow! Cats! Wow! Elephants! Wow! Bats! Wow! Giraffes!
And then lastly, we went and saw the penguins. We got to see them feed the penguins.
Wow! Penguin!
Before we left the zoo, we went to the
Sandbox. I really liked burying my legs in the coldness of the sand.
We then drove up to the Council Crest Overlook, where the kids enjoyed rolling down the hills.
Ooh, yes. It's really hard to stop yourself.
After that, we drove back to the hotel and walked down 23rd Street to...
Pizzicato.
We then walked down the street to get ice cream at the Salt and Straw, one of the more famous ice cream places in Portland.
Yeah.
And then we went to bed. Saturday morning, we packed up our bags, had breakfast at the Elephant Delicatessen, and jumped in the car to head towards Yachats.
We went to the Evergreen Aviation Museum. They had the spruce goose, they had a banana copter, they had like a helicopter nicknamed the sausage. In the kids zone, there was like a tube that would blow your hair back, and we took a picture of that 6 years ago, so we tried to recreate it.
Along with two other pictures, one with a helicopter with Alana, and then another with Ender in a plane. 7 years ago, he could barely...
Christine.
We went and saw the Space Museum they also had there, and then there was a cool playground outside. Then we went to lunch in McMinnville. We went to a place called Community, had some good food. We then jumped back in the car and drove to the coast, stopping first at Rocky Creek State Scenic Viewpoint. It was pretty to see the coastline.
Yeah, it was.
We drove over to Cape Foulweather, which had a beautiful overlook. We were about to leave and these two women came up and said, "Have you seen any whales?" And we looked down and we saw a whale.
Yes!
It was crazy.
The blowholes were really cool.
Did you see any tails?
Like two
Yeah.
tails.
We then took a quick stop at Devil's Punch Bowl. We then drove over to the beach house where we are now and we said hello to everybody and we had dinner. On Sunday morning, we woke up, we went over to the Adobe for brunch with everyone. All the kids sat together and the adults sat together. And then when everybody was done, the kids went out and played on the rocks right outside the Adobe, and we walked along the rocks back over to the beach house. It was great to see all the kids having fun climbing along the rocks. In the afternoon, I went to the farmer's market. The kids kind of stayed here and played, but when we got back, Ender and I went out on the rocks to look at the waves crashing against them and splashing up.
We were watching it in one spot until one huge wave crashed up and splashed us.
We had breakfast, we drove south to the Hobbit Trail.
While we walked down the Hobbit Trail, there were like these tiny little home-ish style holes, and it looked like a home for a hobbit. Oh my god.
At the end of the Hobbit Trail, we went to the beach and then put our feet in the water.
It was really cold.
After that, we played bocce ball.
And I won like 2 rounds. I was surprised at how good I was.
So did I. I won
there was like this sort of sand dune we all climbed up on. We found up this new style to go down it. We like acted as an angel and like swum down the sand. I held a crab in my hand. It was so small.
We went to Florence for lunch, where we ate right there on the dock. It was some good Mexican food. And then we went over and rented sandboards and went to some dunes and learned that actually these kids are pretty good at sandboarding.
We sled down hoping to go all the way. For the first like 3 tries, we kind of sucked.
For a little bit.
For a little bit, yeah. We started to get really good at it.
Even the adults did some sandboarding.
At the end, all the kids went down the mountain at the same time.
We turned in the sandboards, headed back to the beach house, and went to bed. Tuesday we had a pretty relaxing day. We stayed around here, we played a little bit of apples to apples. Alana, Terry, Dad, and I went out on the rocks in front of the beach house where we went and investigated some of the tide pools.
There was tons of stuff like starfish, tide pools, sea anemones, and a bunch of crabs.
Alana and I had a lot of fun jumping from rock to rock as the tide came in. This morning we woke up, had breakfast, and we drove over to the Oregon Coast Aquarium where we saw...
Wow, eels!
Wow, piranhas!
Wow, jellyfish!
Wow, more jellyfish!
Wow, Tucci Tank!
Nope.
Tucci tank.
Nope.
Tucci Tank!
Touch.
Touch tank?
Tucci Tank!
Oh, it's a touch tank.
Wow, schooling fish!
Wow, sharks! Wow, we are underwater?
We're underwater!
We're underwater!
Yeah! Wow, otters, cuddle party! There was one sea lion at the aquarium that stuck on the window. It was super cute. I wanted to stay with him the whole time.
And pet him. He's very fuzzy and cute. After the aquarium, we went to downtown Newport and we had lunch at local ocean seafood. It was delicious. Then we walked over in downtown Newport where we saw all of the sea lions making all sorts of noise.
Them fighting over where the spots are. There was one hanging off with its head like bobbing.
After that, we jumped back in the cars and we drove to Seal Rock. We walked along the beach and explored some of the tide pools before jumping in the car and coming back here.
Yeah.
That night, all the kids went in the jacuzzi.
Thursday, we went to Lunacy Fish House for dinner.
Both me and Alana got fish and chips. Alana got grilled fish and I got fried fish. There's a difference.
Friday, we rented sandboards again and went to Honeyman State Park where we set up our camp and everybody went sandboarding.
Sandboarding, yes. Miles was really good. I also had fun on the sleds that we rented too.
The sleds were easier, but just as fun as the boards.
It was a lot of work to climb up the hill every time you wanted to go down. It got tiring really quick.
I went down to the lake and I built a moat.
On the way back to the beach house, we stopped by Cape Perpetua.
There was a trail, and at the end of the trail was the view, which was like this tiny house.
The view was really good.
Yeah.
After Cape Perpetua, we drove back to the beach house, and tonight we're having a fancy dinner at Ona. And that's the end of our trip video.
Bye. Make sure to subscribe down below.
The subscribe's down here and up there.
I'm gonna put it over your face.
Oh my god! Oh no. I did nothing. I'm famous now!
I'm famous now! I'm famous now!
And there were these 2 dogs. One black and white dog and one like white dog. Was that racist? We had an elephant deer for dessert for the day. Dessert for the day.
Dessert for the day. Dessert for the day. Others, I'm like,
Yeah.
wait, what?
Otters.
Nope.